monthly because I got two.
All right. And I believe we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are here at 2LaneLIVE headquarters, Canoga Park, California. Today we have the one and only Ari Levenbaum in the house, CEO and co-owner of Law Tigers. This episode is not only brought to you by Law Tigers, it's also brought to you by, I'm struggling today.
No worries.
Brought to you by EagleRider Motorcycle Rentals and Tours. Don't forget to check out 2LaneLIVE.com under the EagleRider tab to see how you can book a trip, save some money, and have a good time while you're at it. I just needed to slow down.
Well, you said something interesting. I know why you said Arlie instead of Ari.
Harley.
You thought Harley.
Harley Levenbaum.
I need to come up with an Harley-Davidson.
Yeah,
I think what
that'd
you
be a
need is
cool
a little
addition.
bit of a pow drink.
Do I need some lube?
Yeah,
I'm drinking water over here like a loser.
that's part of the problem.
Didn't
Yeah.
you guys have on Willie G at one point? Or no, you had the kids on.
We had the
Yeah.
kids on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're nice. They're nice folks. I've met them before at the museum. Sturgis
Well,
Museum.
welcome.
Thank you.
You know, it's I have to tell you, we've been following you guys for a long time, and last year through LinkedIn, I'm like, I got to figure out how to get in front of this guy.
I remember that.
And I was so impressed that at the position you're in, to take the time for you to call me out of the blue. Well, not quite out of the blue. I asked you to call me, but for you to do that and then to find out, you know, we have not spent a lot of time together, but we are definitely going to be spending more time together.
Forward
But
to
to
it.
find out what kind of guy you are and how kind you are, and your employees have been just incredible. So we're really happy to have you here and get you in studio, and we'll shoot the shit with you a little bit today.
Happy
You're
beer.
a rider too.
I ride a little bit.
A little bit,
Yeah. I was telling you guys, I checked you guys out online because I kind of want to get an idea of we've met before, but we haven't hung out much. Just
Right.
what y'all do, and I'm just so impressed with what you guys have done in such a short period of time with the community. But yeah, I ride and I collect bikes, and motorcycles are my passion. Yeah,
That's awesome.
And motorcycling. Yeah.
And
So
you
it's-
hang out with some. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I saw that picture of you and Jason Sims
Yep.
with was that a flathead?
That was, yes. He's like my
WL or
motorcycle
something?
drug dealer.
Yeah. So was that your bike?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Nice.
I for better or worse, no, Jason's a good friend, but yeah, I got hooked up with him years ago through Glencoe campground.
Uh-huh.
We've been sponsoring that campground for years, and he's involved with that, and we kind of just started hanging out and hitting it off. And we sponsor his two big things, Chase and Cannonball, and I haven't ridden in them because I don't think I have the balls to do it. I don't think I could handle more than a few days.
With the little
Yeah.
map on the paper.
Yeah, the map
roller.
paper and pushing uphill when the bike doesn't have the power
Yep.
to climb, and and I don't work on my own bikes. I ride them, but I don't work on them. But anyway, long story short, a couple years ago, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to start getting some older bikes. Not as much to ride. I look at them more like artwork,
Mhm.
collectibles, just beautiful, memorabilia and history. So he's helped me acquire some WL, WLA, which are Harleys. WLA is the Army edition. WL is, of course, the civilian edition. And then I got a couple Indians. I just got an Indian Scout military coming from Lonnie Isom, a really well-known guy that does beautiful beautiful
Restoration.
Thank you. So that's coming, and I got a BSA Golden Flash. Yeah, I got 4 or 5, but my dream is to have a Crocker, but I'm not ready to spend $600,000-$700,000 on a motorcycle.
You know what a
That's
Bruff Superior is?
That's another one of my dreams.
We talked to Jay Leno in his suit in his warehouse
Yeah.
with his collection of those.
Yeah, I don't make like $30 million a year like Jay Leno. I'm trying, but
Well,
yeah.
the funny thing with him, he has not spent, from what we even asked him, and it's been written that he's not spent any money from the Tonight Show. All of this has been through his stand-up comedy.
He must get paid really well to do stand up then, huh?
That's what I'm saying.
So what's he doing with all the money from the Tonight Show?
Putting it away.
For
But-
what?
I don't know.
But I have to tell you, we were so impressed with him because every single motorcycle or car we walked up to, he knew how it started, how to do the choke, how to run just every single one of them.
That's
It was like,
nuts.
and he rides the stuff.
How many bikes does he have?
Oh, hundreds.
Yeah, a lot.
He's got to have like a full crew taking care of it.
He's got like 8 warehouses that connect
At
together.
least 8.
That's
It's a
like
nice museum.
So he's got a
Yeah.
full crew. He's got a full maintenance crew. He's
Yeah.
got a full restoration crew. I mean, there's every car, every bike's on tenders.
That's
They've
nuts.
but he loves the stuff, and you'll see him ride to the rock store here all the time in something.
Funny story about him. So we were
Yeah.
filming commercials up at Angeles Crest. This is like 8, 10, 12 years ago. You may have seen the commercials. It's where people are kind of hanging out in the parking lot, and that's up at the bar there. And so we're up there having lunch, and all of a sudden a P1 rolls. Like that's a McLaren, like $1 million
Right.
rolls up. Who is it? Jay
Jay
Leno.
Leno.
So my dad buys him the guy can eat also, man. My dad bought him like a double burger, and he let his young kid get in the car.
Yeah.
And say, like, I mean, he's nice, seems like the nicest guy, but for some reason I was reading he just won't buy Ferraris. I don't know why. But he's anti-Ferrari.
Interesting.
We should
I
ask
don't
him.
know.
I guess that's a good problem to have, McLaren,
Yeah.
Ferrari, but yeah, but I love old bikes. It's, again, I like riding newer bikes, but in terms of collecting, they're just something about vintage Harleys and Indians, and even the British bikes, like the Bruss, an S1, I think S100.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, what a bike! 80 miles an hour from the 20s
Right,
or 30s.
right.
Yeah,
Incredible.
can you believe that?
No.
Incredible.
When did you get the first WLA
I got
or
the
your WLA?
WL. I got the WL first. No, was it the first? No, I got WLA first. That was the first one. I got that like 3 years ago.
Really? So I think we saw that in our parking lot.
Did you?
Jason rolled through here and he
Oh,
just
yeah.
found like 3.
Yeah, I got one of those bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those
He
bikes.
was
that
doing
great?
a live and he
Yeah,
opened the trailer. And
yeah.
we're like, oh.
Yeah, Jason's a good dude. I love him. We hang out probably once a month. He helped me get a couple of the bronze Deckers actually from another guy. Jason is like totally hooked up when it comes to
Yeah.
like old bikes or collectibles, and I enjoy. He and I collect gold and silver. We went to this place in Arizona and got some gold and silver together. Went to Barrett Jackson. Yeah, I really enjoy hanging out with him.
So
Yeah.
you're in Arizona. Where are you from?
Boston, Massachusetts. of all
Really?
places.
We've
Yeah.
been there. We
Have
went
ya?
to the Cheers bar on
Did
a
ya?
road trip.
Did you go? Was it? I think isn't that downtown? Is
Yeah,
that downtown.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just to say we did it. And
The
then we had a
nostalgia
beer
of it.
and,
Did you stop by Dave Perowitz's place?
No.
You guys know Dave?
No.
You gotta hang out. You gotta get Dave on the podcast.
Yeah.
Dave's awesome. Yeah, he one of the founders of Hemsters, which I'm very proud to now be part of the group. But Dave is just like when it comes to like OG Boston guy, he's a legend. He's
Yeah.
been around for years. So every year we go there for a fall foliage run. They do for Hamsters, and yeah, you gotta. Dave's.
You're not wearing your
hilarious.
yellow shirt.
No, I didn't. I'm rocking Chrome Hearts today, but I do wear it quite often. Yeah, and I'm very, very proud to be part of that group. The guys are just amazing guys.
How long have you been part of that?
I just got in.
Just
yeah,
now?
yeah, it was a 4-year journey, and just got in, and the guys are just incredible. For those that aren't aware, it's a motorcycle group. It's really not a club. It's a group of guys that just love custom riding and riding custom motorcycles, building custom motorcycles, and some bike builders, some guys in the industry, some guys aren't. Very, very mixed. And I was, I'm hosting the Arizona Christmas party for Hamsters in my house, so gonna have a bunch of guys over, and they're just wonderful people to be around. And Dave Perowitz, and would be great to have on, and so would Donnie Smith. I don't know if you've ever met Donnie.
I've heard
of
the
Donnie.
name.
Yeah, the Donnie Smith bike show.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're both just like they're two of the founders of Hamsters and just salt the earth guys. Great
Nice,
guys.
nice.
Yeah, we know quite a few of you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's I can't remember the name of the guys. He's out of Long Beach, I think,
Oh, yeah.
but we ran into him at Sturgis 2 years, and he's like, "We've got to get you up to the party."
Which one is? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
Hamster
spaghetti
Hill.
party or
Hamster Hill, yeah,
Hamster Hill.
yeah.
He's
You
like,
guys
we
should
need
come.
you up there.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, basically it's Spearfish. You got a hotel, Holiday Inn, and then behind it, I probably shouldn't be saying this because everyone's going to show up, but behind it is Hamster Hill, where they have a bunch of the hamsters have their own little like cool like patio homes, and then there's a
Your
road.
phone's ringing. Ari, there's
There's
don't
the phone.
tell
Yeah,
the
yeah,
secret.
yeah. I'm gonna get my hand slapped. I get kicked out of the group when I just got in. But anyway, and they have a massive party, and they bring in food and drinks, and everyone kind of opens their garage. So you see these amazing bikes because everyone's into riding, and hamster, memorabilia, and it's just a big block party. You guys should definitely come. It's a fun time. And then they have a huge charity dinner at the Holiday Inn where they raise millions of dollars for Lifescape and the museum, which I'm on the board
Right.
of. And it's such a good group. And again, main thing is to ride custom motorcycles, but there's philanthropy as well. And it's
Yeah.
cool.
How did you end up in Arizona?
My dad went to law school at Suffolk Law, didn't have a pot to piss in, graduated. I was like a month old, and it was like flip a coin, California, Arizona. No offense, California. We ended up coming to Arizona, and didn't have really anything. Took a U-Haul with a Volkswagen. My mom flew with me. I guess I cried the whole way in the plane, I was told. Haven't stopped since, and just have been there all my life. So been in Arizona 52 years, just shy of 52.
So you've seen a lot of change there.
Huge change. Arizona. My dad said he was a criminal defense lawyer. He founded Law Tigers. He said that when he first started, he would represent hookers on Bell Road, which was a dirt road, and they all lived in motorhomes. Now Bell Road is like this major thoroughfare, and it's Arizona's changed a lot.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So how did he get into the motorcycle end of it then?
Good question. So my dad and I grew up riding motorcycles. First, it was like ATCs. I got a 70. and then-
ATC.
I love those things, man. They're fucking really dangerous.
Right.
Like it's
Rip
talking about
your
a lawyer.
leg
Yeah,
off.
that's why Honda doesn't make them anymore, right? Because they got sued one too many times.
Right.
But it had all these different size ATCs. I used to race my mom down the street, seeing how fast I could go on my 250R when I was like 13. People look at me like, your mom actually like did that? I'm like, yeah, I was doing 85 and she was in her Volvo, so I could get my speed down. But so anyway, my dad and I rode motorcycles, dirt bikes, and then as we got a little older, street bikes. And it's a way for us to bond. My dad used it as therapy, and he noticed that like competition was getting stiffer in Arizona for advertising the yellow pages. You know, for those that don't know, that's what it was.
Let
right?
your fingers do the walking.
That's right. Yeah, right. And there was no internet, and that's how you got business as a lawyer and
Yep.
many other
Yeah.
businesses. And they kept coming back, being greedy bastards, asking for more money. And the double truck, which is 2 pages, and if you didn't pay for more, then they put you in the back, in the farther backyard, the less likely you get cases. So he's like, I got to do something different. And he thought, I'm really passionate about riding. And he would go down the street, thumbs up, this. Maybe I can turn a business. So he studied marketing and branding and licensing, and he also did some corporate work and came up with the concept 23 years ago. And in his mind, it would he started in Arizona, and then if it worked out, license it, kind of franchise light. It's not really a franchise; it's a membership program, but similar.
Right.
And it exceeded his wildest dreams. So he's really the brainchild behind it. And
And then you go to school, and you come out.
I go to law school for a month, drop out because I fucking hated it. And I was like, I hate reading and I hate writing. Wait a second. That's what you do in law school, right? And as a lawyer.
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. So I'm like, what did I get myself into? And I was at USC down the street.
Yeah.
And I had 1 year off. I'd studied for the LSAT, the law school, substitute taught to make money. The kids ate me alive. And I ended up getting in a bunch of schools. Much to my surprise, I peaked on the LSAT the day I took it. Go figure. Had pretty good grades, got in a bunch of schools, went there, and I just was like, after a month, I was like, you know what? This isn't for me. I was doing it for wrong reasons. I think I was just doing it to satisfy my dad, make him proud. And I think, when I did this substitute teaching thing, I kind of liked it a little bit. And so I ended up going back. I deferred my enrollment, actually. So I didn't technically drop out. They basically said, look, if you want to start up, because it was so soon, like, if you want to start over, come back next year when you're ready. And I'm like, all right, with no intention of doing that.
Right.
And got all my money back, luckily, for the tuition, and got my post back in education and became a school teacher, and did that for 8 years. And and rode my Harleys to work when I was teaching. And
The students probably like that.
Oh, they loved it, yeah. And then I started working with my dad part time after 4 or 5 years teaching, and then came on full time. After 8 years of teaching, I went full time with my dad, and like probably 16 years ago. Yeah.
So your forte is now really, it's how you market Law Tigers and the brand awareness, and that's kind of where you've taken it versus the legal side of it, right?
Yeah, I'm very lucky because if this was not motorcycle related, it was just like auto PI, I'm like, fuck that, I wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
It's not worth it.
Right.
Because to me, it's the culture, it's the community, it's
Yeah.
the friendship, it's the experiences we have, the riding that draws me to this, not the law. Granted, I'm very, very committed to helping riders, right? And we don't want to see anyone get hurt. So we do a lot with like charities and education to try to help avoid it from happening. But at the end of the day, my lawyer network, and we're in 32
talk about
states,
that.
are really good lawyers, and they're committed to helping injured riders. Most of them are riders themselves. And we want to make sure if someone's hit on a motorcycle and is injured, that they get their bike repaired or replaced, they get their gear repaired or replaced, and they and that they, get the compensation they deserve. It's not always the case because, unfortunately, not everybody has proper insurance, which, something that I'm super passionate about is making sure people get uninsured and underinsured motorists. And then if they do, we get them hopefully where they need to be to get them back riding, or at least as whole as possible.
What is do you think you have a number on the percentage of people that don't have it? Is it just super high?
It is. So it depends on the state, but like about anywhere from a third to half of all people don't have insurance. Now, again, state to state. And then there's a large percentage that don't have most don't have enough. So let's say in Arizona or here in California, I think the minimum here, state minimum is, I think it's like 20 or 25. It's low. So legally, you only have to carry, I think it's 25,000 in liability. So that if you hit someone, you're in a car, you hit someone, you're only on the hook for 25 grand. Now, you all well know that you get hit on your bike, you're going to be way fucked up, and it's going to be more than that. The injuries generally are way more. Hospital, a ride in an ambulance could be 10 grand,
right?
Let alone if you're in a helicopter being medevac. So I tell everybody, you cannot rely on someone else's insurance to be taken care of. You have to get what's called uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. And that's, call your insurance company or your broker and say, look, I want to max out my uninsured and underinsured motorists. Usually it's $500,000 in coverage, meaning the other guy hits you with either the minimum or none, no insurance. Your insurance company will pay up to $500,000 for medical bills, pain and suffering, lost wages. And even that might not be enough.
Right.
You can get higher coverage through what's called an umbrella. Like I've got 10 million because, I don't want to be, leave my wife out in the cold. And I think I pay $3,000 for 10 million umbrella insurance. If you want $500,000 in UM on your bike, it's a couple $100 a year.
Yeah, I remember going at my second car and probably second bike. It was time to re-up insurance, and to go from, the minimum 25 grand to having 500K in property damage and 500K in this, to almost max everything out for that policy was an additional like $13 a month.
It's nothing.
Like, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Right.
And when I was in high school, got my first car, paid for it in cash, was so stoked on it. Some lady pulls out in oncoming traffic, completely without a doubt her fault. She only had like 10 grand insurance, wouldn't even cover the car.
Right.
So I had to, take an alternate path to get that covered. And it's just, you don't want to have to deal with that,
You have to get, I'm telling everyone, forego the extra piece of chrome on your bike or the extra, item that you don't need, and put it into your insurance. I tell everyone, it's not a matter of if you're going to go down, but when. Now, it may be to a lesser degree, but look, I've been riding for years. Everybody I know has gone down in some way, whether it's a small little, lay down or they've been hit from someone. So there's nothing else you learned today about me and what we're doing here is get UM and UIM uninsured and underinsured motorists. Call your insurance company. Just ask them.
You got fans saying, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Big
so
Al.
True. And transportation costs for injured people, it can be 10 grand very easily. And if you go by air, you'll be in serious buckaroonies.
Yeah. Adam Sandoval is a buddy of mine.
Yep.
He's been in 2 accidents where we represented him. Neither of them his own fault. First one, he didn't have UM coverage, and he had like hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills because it was fucked up bad. Now, luckily, we were able to negotiate down. This is where lawyers, come in handy, right? We were able to negotiate his medical bills way down, and I think the insurance, the doctors and hospitals got like pennies on the dollar, right? And we gave up our fee because he's a friend of mine, and there wasn't enough insurance. But I'll tell you what, you can ask him. He now has the max coverage. I think he has an umbrella as well, beyond the 500,000. Other thing is look at stacking. So call your insurance company and say, look, can I stack? Meaning if I have insurance on my car and on my bike and I get in an accident, can I tap both uninsured motorist policies? Some states allow it. Some companies, if you have the same insurance, they won't allow it, meaning you have to have a different company for bikes and cars. But find out what the stacking laws are in your state. Like in Arizona, you can stack, but there are some limitations if you have the same insurance company for both cars and bikes. But we've had guys that get hit. We tap their car, their bike, and you end up in some cases getting double or triple the available coverage. And if you're hurt bad, you need it.
Yeah.
You need it.
Yeah.
So that's a mistake people don't think about. What's like the first mistake when someone goes down? Is it you're the first call?
No, the first mistake that 50% of every not only rider but motorist does is call their insurance company. I can tell everyone tuning in, and you guys, do not call your insurance company. Next year, we're going to do 2 campaigns. One is going to be on calling us or someone like us.
Yep.
And the second is uninsured motorist. If you call the insurance company, first of all, if you say something that can be used against you, they're going to use it against you. Insurance company are not your friend. It's like a necessary evil,
No,
right?
really? Come on.
Yeah, they're like the bad guys. Like
homeowners
yeah.
just jacked up.
You know, it's funny.
Jesus Christ.
The insurance industry every 3 or 4 years does an adjustment. I have a broker. When I get my insurance now, I go to a broker. I looked her up on Google. She had more reviews. I live in Phoenix. And so she does everything. She shops my auto, my motorcycle, my home. And she told me this year there was a major adjustment across the country because, first of all, they blame the lawyers, which I think is bullshit. They're saying the lawyers are getting more money for clients and it's costing insurance companies more. The real reason, I think, is because cars are more expensive to replace and repair, especially with the electric cars and all the technology and all the natural disasters that are having to get paid out, from floods and hurricanes. Yeah. So this is a major adjustment here. So my homeowners went up 60%. I'm sure yours went up a lot too, right? Sounds like you got jacked.
Mine went up a year ago because of all the fires. Mine tripled. Tripled.
See, mine went up 60% for no reason.
Mine went up from $2,700 to $9,000.
That's ridiculous.
And then they cut me this year.
Of course they did, because they can do that.
So they got, and one of the things I was pissed about is my agent could have told me, raise the deductible.
Right.
He didn't. So they got $9,000 worth of premium. This year I had to go through the same process.
Right.
But I put a 25 or 20, whatever the max was.
Right.
Because I'll pay that.
Sure.
And it dropped from $9 down to $2,700 again.
Right. Well, that's for having a good broker that can give you advice and shop.
That makes sense.
But my cars went up, my bikes went up. I've got an 82 FXR custom that Jason Moog from Deadwood Custom Cycles with me.
Yep.
Moog. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
He's got a cool podcast too.
Yeah.
So, and they tried to charge me like $3,000 for my insurance. And I'm like, why the hell? Because it's stated value and it's, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to ride the bike. I dropped the insurance. And I said, if I ever ride it again, I'll reinsure it.
Right.
That's something people can do. You can drop your registration insurance.
Right.
You got to fill out some paperwork. But if you're not riding the bike, especially if you own it outright, if it gets stolen, you could be out, you're out the money, but maybe your homeowners might cover it. But yeah, just, you gotta like, I spend so much money on insurance. And they're not, and back to your question, if you call them, a lot of times they're going to try to get you settled for less than what the value of your claim. They're going to try to get you to say something to incriminate yourself. If it's the adverse, the person hit you, you definitely don't want to call them because, their job is to pay you as little as possible. They're like, Geico's owned by Berkshire Hathaway, like a Fortune 500 company. You think their job is to pay you as much? Their job is to pay you as little. They're bonus that way. They're a publicly traded company. They're customers of the shareholders, not the people they insure.
Right.
So don't call your insurance company first.
Should we buy Berkshire Hathaway?
Well, it's gone up a lot over the years. So there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
I mean, insurance companies are businesses.
Yes.
And
money-making business.
Right. And their job is to pay you as little as possible. That's why, whether you like us or not, you have to have a lawyer. I'm not saying you have to hire the Law Tigers. If you want to, great, but hire someone that's going to advocate for you and someone that's going to represent you when you're in an accident, because that's what they do. That's what we do. And you just can't afford not to have someone, covering you and helping you out.
So we've had multiple companies like yours approach us.
Sure.
And over the last 4 years, and we sit here and noodle and go, no, because a lot of them are local.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we found you guys interesting is because our reach is so broad.
Yes.
That we wanted to get the message out around Law Tigers that because there's other states that you're in. You said 32.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, we have local lawyers. Like we have a local firm here that the best way to look at our structure is kind of like a franchise, even though we're not. We're a licensed membership program. So what that means is we find like-minded law firms that want to help out riders but don't know how to reach riders. And our program, which is a marketing intensive program and community outreach, allows them to join forces with us, and we do the marketing on their behalf. With my team, I've got 55 people. I've got a manager, at least in every market. In California, we have 7. In fact, 4 in SoCal. We just added another one. 2 in NorCal, 5 in SoCal, so 7 total. And then we have digital, traditional, grassroots marketing. And our job is to support the riding community and drive those potential clients to our member firms. But you're still getting local representation. You're just getting the power of our brand and our know-how to effectively support and reach riders.
So I'm in Maryland. I call Law Tigers. I'm most likely getting, if you were in Maryland,
Which we are.
You're getting a local attorney there.
You're getting a local experienced attorney. His name is Paul Hernandez. He's one of my best friends, and he owns.
How did I pick that out of the blue?
And he owns Virginia, Maryland, DC, and he has offices in all 3 areas.
Really?
And Delaware now. And in fact, we were just there. Lionel was there. My videographer was there doing a bike giveaway for the hockey team. And we have and he's a rider. Paul's a rider and owns a Harley. So you're getting lawyers that care, that are going to handle your case, take it either to trial if they have to, or if they got to settle it, get you the most possibly can. And, that's what we do.
Well, you guys, great team, and love to talk to the folks that we've met, a number of folks.
Sure.
Like Durango Harley.
Yeah, they're good people.
I mean, when they were doing the rally up there, the Four Corners rally.
Yeah.
So we're getting to know the team even better, and done a good job in the hiring. So let's get back a little bit to the bikes.
Yes.
So you ride, and you've ridden with guys like Nick Trask and some of these crazy.
Paul, yeah.
Paul.
Nick's the craziest fucking rider. He crashed in front of me on the way from going down the hill from so Paul and Mook put on an event every year called they changed the bike bill, but it's called Friends Throwdown. FXR Friends Throwdown, Chopper Friends Throwdown. So they've done it for 4 years. We sponsor it, even though I don't pay anything. I just support it, right? And I get to tag along as the only non-builder. And every year we go down. Every year Nick swears he's not going to go back because every year he gets in trouble. He gets pulled over. He gets, Nick seems to find trouble. All right. Great rider, good dude, amazing bikes, amazing turbos and performance parts. I mean, he's the real deal. So we're going down the hill. This was during bike week, and he and I blast by everybody because I like to ride fast, even though I probably shouldn't. And he gets in front of me because I was in front of him for a while, and we're tracking down the hill, and there's a turn that's like 25 miles an hour, and I'm in 5th, and we're going fast. I'm not going to disclose how fast, but fast. I downshift, I think into 3rd, and I don't think he downshifted. And he's on this kind of longer bike, big tire, and he goes around the turn, and he's going so fast he can't hold his line. He goes right into the guardrail. And I see him hit the guardrail, bounce off it, get thrown off the bike, and I thought he's dead. And I'm seeing everything in slow motion, and the bike ghosts itself. It's sliding on the side, and it crosses my path. And I'm only like 50, 100 feet behind him, right? So I got to cut around it into the lane of oncoming traffic. Thank God there's no vehicle coming that would have hit me or the bike that crossed over, pull over, and I'm freaking out. I thought he was going to be either dead or seriously hurt. Don't ask me how, but he gets up. He had his bell rung pretty good, gash in his leg. He was wearing a jacket he bought in Europe, thank God, at a big motorcycle expo in Italy. And they end up taking him to the hospital. And, I think he did, what was it? He didn't break anything, but he bruised his
he was banged
muscle.
up.
Yeah. He was at the event. Yeah.
I walked over to him. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? And he's like, oh.
And I begged him to come. I said to him, because he didn't want to go to that event. He's like, every year I go, Ari, I get in trouble. Something happens. I'm like, well, that's because you make bad decisions, not because, trouble finds you. You find it. And he's like, I'm never going to fucking Winslow again. So of course Paul's moved it now, and Jason's moved it to another location.
Oh, they have.
Yeah,
In Arizona.
Yeah, I think it's Jerome. Is it Jerome? I think Jerome.
Oh shit.
Just to mix it up a little bit. So if he says he's not going, I'll just bug him until I convince him to come.
We've been walking by in one of the houses we stay in Deadwood, this house for the last 4 or 5 years with an M on the front door. And we're just every day walk by to go downtown and eat because we park our bikes a lot when we're there for the night. And we're walking back one night late at night, him and I are, and we're just like,
This last year.
yeah, this year we're walking back and we're like, Jason, him and his wife are sitting out there. He's like, hey man, this is my house. Come on in, And
Oh, Mook.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like we've been neighbors for
yeah, no idea.
No
I had
idea.
no idea.
but we did a podcast with him in Deadwood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's a good friend.
He's such a great guy, and we were introduced to him by Luke from Fueling.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so we've done videos in his basement,
Yes. Yeah.
like
yeah.
at the shop.
Have you been down there? We've
Oh,
down
yeah.
there with all this shit down
Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's like
2 or 3
spooky
times.
down there.
Yeah.
He's been
We-
trying to get the owner
we
that sold the
filmed it.
building to get the shit out of there for like months.
Doesn't he like having it in there?
And he wants to use it for like something for his business.
Business, yeah. Because he should just turn it into a museum. Pay people.
That's what it
pay to
was.
go
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
But then he turned us on to the family. So we went out and did a Sturgis before the rally drop.
Okay.
And so we were there and we did Louis and all the people. It was
Saloon 10.
So yeah, she's awesome.
It was so great. And
yeah.
they were, 2 of them were sitting there and they're fighting, and then all of a sudden the camera clicks and they were just so kind and pleasant.
It's Charlie and Jason. you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I've never seen him. Usually he's yes dear.
Yeah.
It's so he's a bad motherfucker. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like Force Recon. He's
Yeah.
a real deal.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to get him to sit down with me to show me how to sight in my. I've got a long gun that I bought. I actually got some gift certificates from some hamster events I went to, and I combined them and there's this really nice, really high-end manufacturer in Rapid City that does precision arms, I think it's called, and rifles, and they do stuff for like the Israeli army. So they built me a nice long gun, 6.8 Creedmoor round, and I have no idea how to shoot or sight in long guns, so he's going to help me do that. I
He
just
is
haven't
a
had chance
badass.
yet. Yeah, he's
done the deal. Yeah.
Hands. I mean, guys, I wouldn't want to be in his line of
Nope.
sight.
But when you
I
know
mean,
him, he's a sweet guy.
Nice guy, but I've seen him piss too. Like you get into his like workspace, like where
Yeah.
where he's like, get the fuck out. And he even told me that before. He's like, he's like, get out. I said, I didn't
Wow,
know.
I
He's
guess
like, it's
we're
fine,
lucky.
just get out. I
We
mean,
get
if you
to walk
ask him,
around
it's
there.
different. But yeah, he's a good guy, and I met him through Paul. And that's what I love about this industry and culture is, you meet one guy, you meet another guy, and I wasn't always, part of this community for the first 10 years. I was just working at a booth, passing stuff out, trying to make sure that we were hitting, attending to our business needs, setting up inflatables, and I didn't have the luxury of getting to network. And luckily, as we've grown and bring on more people, now I've been able to do that the past 8 or 10 years, and that's what's made it such a fun, memorable experience, being able to meet guys like you.
Well,
and other guys
we've
like
talked
that.
about it too. We've been riding for 10 years together, right?
Sure.
But I think we never paid attention to the culture.
Right.
It was just the 2 of us riding,
Sure.
and yeah, we'd see people and we're cordial in that, but it
Yeah.
was never like it is today. And we built this business and this dream, and we just had a couple from Canada here
Yeah, you told me that's cool.
that dropped in, and to see now what we've done as it relates to the content that Josh edits and the Instagrams and it's pretty insane.
I mean, for years we've been saying we go on these trips and we go deep. We go in these places. We go winter, whatever. And we're always like, where are all the bikes? We never see bikes on the road. But that's to back what he said. We weren't really in the culture.
Right.
We were just dudes that went riding.
Right.
Well,
I don't think you get into riding to be part of the culture. You get into riding to ride.
Right.
And then you start riding, and you start meeting people that are
Yeah.
like-minded, and then it brings you in, right? So that was the same thing with me. Like I started doing it because I liked riding, and it was my job. And my goal at the time was to build this brand and get merchandise out at events, and and then over time you meet people, but again, for like, I'd see Paul, I bring up Yaffe, I'd see him all the time. And, you know, I knew him, but I didn't become friends with him until I had him build me a bike like 6-7 years ago. And that's the case with a lot of the guys that I'm now friends with. The friendships are not more than 5 or 6 years old, because that just wasn't my focus at the time. But I cherished it, and I you know, wouldn't have it any other way.
But it's like the couple today. And we've talked about this before as well. Like if you're Tom Cruise and you're playing Mission Impossible, you're seeing a character.
Right.
Right. When you watch one of our videos, you're seeing a character, but it's us. It's not a character.
Right.
And so people tend to feel like they know you.
And they
so
can talk to you.
Like this couple today was like, we just feel like we know you and your wives. And by the way, during the winter, we sure appreciate your videos. Like,
because they live in Edmonton, Alberta. Yeah, you don't go outside in Edmonton, Alberta.
So it's just interesting how it's evolved and morphed into kind of this. He said it a few times, mental health thing, because we get all these insanely beautiful stories from people that can be catastrophic,
right,
and can be also at the same time the most gratifying thing they've done, where they've battled cancer, they killed cancer, and now they're out riding. You know, so
it's my therapy. Like I said, I don't do drugs. I just buy and ride motorcycles and drive cars on a racetrack. That's like my.
So you have a good collection of motorcycles. So what's your go-to every day if you're going to ride?
For motorcycles?
Yeah.
Probably I call it the Tiger Glide, the bike that Yaffe built for me like 4 years ago. It's a 2020 Road Glide, and it's kind of a sporty version of it. It's got aftermarket suspension, engine work. That's my favorite. But I'll tell you, Jason's FXR that he built ground up is right there, neck and neck. They're just different, right? FXR is more if I want to rip it. I mean, it's got a massive, like, you know, S&S motor in it, carbureted motor. The only thing stock on that thing is the frame. And I actually have an exhaust from Thrashin.
Oh, you do?
That was the only part that he left on the bike. Was it came with a Thrashin exhaust. Everything else was replaced. But those two are our favorites. Although I just got a Pan Am. You know Tony May Ramjet, ring a bell?
Ramjet, I know. I've heard of that, but I don't know.
So Tony, another friend of mine, it's in Hamster. He owns a great speed shop, and builds great bikes, sells bikes parts. But anyway, he can pick up Pan Ams for like $8-10 grand at the auction because they're just soft. So you got a 21 Pan Am, put all kinds of bags and stuff on it, and my buddy Justin, who I don't know if you made it over Superstition Harley when you're in Arizona. Did you get over there?
Yeah.
So Justin, birthday is tomorrow. Shout out. We were having dinner last night. He, Paul, and I, some other guys. But anyway, Justin got me into it. Justin's a big Pan Am guy. He's like, it's the best bike I've ever owned.
Justin, 6 foot.
I call him baby. We call him baby Viking. My wife and I call him Baby Viking.
Yeah.
He looks like a Viking. The guy's just massive.
He looks to me. Have you watched the Train a Dragon?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
He's like one of those guys.
Yeah, he's the sweetest guy you ever meet. And we went to Rocky Point together, Paul and I and some other guys. But anyway, got me turned on to it. And we I rode it to Sturgis, the Pan Ams, and then to Rocky Point. That's a rally you guys got to go to, is that Rocky Point rally. It's like spring break for adults. But anyway, that's an amazing bike that I really enjoyed riding.
They are amazing.
Yeah. I mean, fat, 150 horsepower, 160 horsepower.
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, I got a BMW. I just bought a K1600B in Sturgis. My buddy had one being serviced. He asked me if I would take it to his house because he wasn't there. I rode it. I'm like, oh, I got to have one of these. So I'm back, and I'm like, to pick up my bike that I left there because I got followed to my buddy's house. And I'm like, do you have any more of these bikes available? He's like, it just so happens we have two. I'm like, you make me a deal? I think I got like $3-4 grand off the bike, and I shipped it back in my trailer. And that thing is amazing. Those BMWs, holy moly. It's like 160 horsepower and agile. So I'm starting to expand my horizons a little bit.
We don't talk BMW on this show.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, no, Harley guys. Yeah.
We're kidding. We don't care what people ride.
Yeah.
Just get out and ride, you know.
Yeah. What's your favorite? What do you all ride?
Road Glides.
Road Glide. Road Glide?
I have a Road Glide. I
Yeah.
love riding dirt. My favorite bike I've ever owned was a 86 FXR.
Nice.
Same thing. Only thing stock was the frame.
Yeah.
Last week, Thrashin had my Road Glide to install and film the top and bottom trees.
Okay.
And Lance was like, "Hey, take any bike you want." They have they have their carbon 131 ST,
Jeez.
but I just had my eyes on this. Maybe it's an 02, but an old FXDX carbureted 88-inch motor.
Yeah.
I had so much fun on that thing.
Nice.
You would have had a lot of fun on that carbon.
I would have.
I mean, I started in 2008. I had a Road King.
Okay.
I've had 3 street glides,
Nice.
3 road glides, and now this one. So I've always been on baggers.
Yeah.
I've ridden his Dynas and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I like baggers.
Something about a bare bones carbureted bike is just it's
I'll
hard
tell
to
you
beat.
that FXR, I feel
Mhm.
like I'm on a fighter jet. It's just nimble and quick, and yeah, they're awesome.
My favorite bike is Suzuki 75.
Really?
Yes. It was my first motorcycle.
All
I
right.
graduated from mini bikes to that. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I rode that thing until the gas was empty. I filled it again up and down the block.
That's
Christmas
awesome.
Day when I got it, it was just insane. But I also am very partial to his son's. What year is it?
2013 Dyna.
13 Dyna.
That was my first bike, a
Oh,
Dyna
God.
Glide.
It's the two-tone, the half
Two-Face.
two-tone, yeah.
Yeah.
We call it Two-Face. But I just, my bike was getting worked on at one point up at our Stinger engines. We were rebuilding some stuff, and we did a trip to Kern in the canyons.
Nice.
And I said, I don't have a bike. And his son's like, we'll take this one. That was just the blast, man. Like you're saying, you can just rip
there's
around.
nothing
There's
like an
no weight
FXR.
on it. It's
Nothing like. Paul's building FXRP for the throwdown. And he's like, this bike's going to be for you to buy. I'm like, oh, thanks. I need another fucking bike. He's like, it's going to be like a performance police bike. I'm like, all right, well, let me see it when you're done. We have to negotiate a little bit on it. But my first bike was a Dyna Y-Glide 96. Got it from Rick Hatch, Hacienda Harley, now Scottsdale Harley. Had extended controls. My feet barely reached it. And this cheesy, like celestial purple paint job. But I thought I was the coolest, cat, 23 years old. I bought the bike. My dad didn't know I bought it. He had just started Law Tigers. I said to him, I didn't tell him I bought it. I was a school teacher making like 28 grand a year. I always had a second job making a little extra money as well. Financed the shit out of it. And this is when you couldn't get new Harleys. This is like, this is 99, 2000. I mean, you couldn't buy new Harleys. So I got this used one, overpaid for it, but it's fine. And so look, about 6 months later, he's like, I think it'd be cool for you and I to, bond and ride together. And he had bought his Harley, which he still has, by the way, a Road King, 96 or 97 Road King. And I'm like, well, if you want to chip in on a bike, I can get one. He didn't know I had it already. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you some money. So he gave me, I think, $5 grand. So I put the $5 grand towards the payments, showed him the bike, and I'd already owned it for a while. And we had some really fond memories. We went up PCH together. We did Colorado together.
Nice.
We got in some arguments because he liked to go slow and hold up traffic, and I wanted to go fast. And so, but it was okay. They were fond memories we still cherish and relive. But
well, think about that, right?
Yeah.
Like my son used to ride when he was a little boy with me on dirt. His son rode on dirt. He wasn't riding.
Yeah.
Now they're riding. Now I'm not riding with my son. But some of the fondest memories for him too. It's like, and we get to watch that as well. Like, we're going to Sturgis together. We go to Kern. We do these different trips, and and you don't like when he wheelies, but
I tried doing that on Ducati with my dad and under a super sport I had in a parking lot, and I crashed. He looked at me like, "Told you so." I was like 22 at the time.
I never put my 2 cents in because he's been riding his whole life. I've been hanging out with him and his buddies.
Sure.
I didn't ever want to be like the dad.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's not gonna. If you said anything, it wouldn't matter.
I always tell myself, well, he's pro. He does it all the time. He's been doing it for years. He's always good.
Is he a stunt rider or
no?
Just like stuff.
He did freestyle motocross.
Oh, did he? Nice.
Yeah, he got a gold medal in freestyle moto
X
backflip
Games.
stuff.
What's his name?
Lance Corey.
Name sounds familiar. Did you ever hear of the kid passed away, Jim McNeil?
Yeah.
So
I used to ride with Jim.
So I grew up in Scottsdale, and a block down the street were the McNeils. My sister was best friends with the daughter. There was Jimmy and there was Joey. I was friends with Joey. Jim was the young one. He was always just ripping around, and yeah, I know he passed away, but he was a great freestyle rider.
But the cool thing is he was good, really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
He was a little bit older than Lance, but
yeah,
so Lance got his gold medal and a bronze medal and best whip, and then he retired because he's like, and he was young. He's like, these guys are going to a level that I don't want to go to.
Yeah.
And then the same thing, like he's friends with the East Coast and guys and Sea Bear and
Yeah.
Reckless, and it's like they're crazy. He goes, I'll do wheelies and stuff, but they're next.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it. He's got 2 kids. It's like,
and I don't know if you know Mark from the Hideaway. Great guy. In Roadhouse, you guys.
Josie's Hideaway.
Hideaway up at Cave Creek.
Oh,
Did you meet Mark Bradshaw when we were up there?
I don't think so.
So he owns the Hideaway and the Roadhouse. His son was a freestyle rider, and he was in a pretty bad accident. And thank God he's alive, but he is a paraplegic now because.
What's his name? Do you remember?
Bradshaw. Why am I forgetting? Something Bradshaw. God, it's gonna kill me now. He did our mascot. He acted as our part-time mascot, and my team loved him. And I've met him before. I can't. It's not Taylor's
Tyler.
Taylor runs Taylor's the other son. So this is not Taylor, but his other son. I know him. I can't remember his name, but anyway, it's dangerous. I mean, yeah. But my fondest memories, like you, like I go to the sand dunes with my dad when I was a kid in the desert. It used to be desert. Now it's all developed in North Scottsdale, and taking ATCs and dirt bikes. I mean, that was the best.
ATC. That's just so funny.
I love those. They still have those. You see them, Yeah, they're
the ankle breakers.
Oh, they're just
breakers.
I was riding my 2VR when I was 13, and something was sticking up out of the ground, and it pulled my ankle back behind the tire.
Yeah,
but I was wearing boots and didn't break my ankle. It was weird. I got lucky.
Yeah.
Well, most people would steer, and it would just flip them over
right
instead of counter steering on it.
That's why Yamaha was so late to the game in their side by sides, is because they had all those lawsuits.
Right.
And putting their hands out of the original. Quad.
That's right.
UTVs. But yeah, it's just instinctual, I guess, when you put your hand out when you're going over. But you should always, do this, not this.
Right. That's your instinct.
Yeah. But so it's like I said, I love it. I love everything.
So we get asked often what our favorite ride is.
Yeah.
Have you got one?
Jeez, I mean, I've been on so many. I'd say.
Is there a part of the country you like more than the other?
Last year, my buddies and I went to, or 2 years ago, Laconia, and that was spectacular. We did like Tail of the Dragon. We did the Blue Ridge Mountains. But I'd say, I've done Beartooth Pass. I've done the Rockies. Probably Colorado to me. Like, and we do it when I go on the hamster rides. We end up generally going through Washington, Colorado, Wyoming. But I think going through the Rockies when you're doing these turns and you see like the water, the river kind of following the road, and look over as people like
I-70.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, going from Durango up through
$1 Million Highway.
I think to me that's probably my favorite. I mean, obviously going up the coast of PCH as you go farther north, that's spectacular. But I'd say probably Colorado. Lionel and I don't know if anyone knows. Lionel's my VP on the Law Tigers consumer side. I've got a VP for the business side as well, Dave. But Lionel and I are going on a trip with Bare Knuckle. You know that guy, the knives and everything.
Yeah.
And he's taking us to what's that? I always forget. It's in India. Is it India? We're doing like off-road. Nepal. Thank you. We're doing the Nepal trip next year.
Wow. Getting ready for, what do they call it? Indian gut?
Yeah. I don't do well.
Deli belly.
I don't do well with elevation. So
Deli belly.
You got to do that too.
I need to acclimate.
Yeah.
You just need to pick up a cigarette smoking habit. Does the trick.
I got my other vices. Trust me.
I'll find out the mixture that you can take a drink of and have it go. Seriously.
Really?
My wife got motion sickness, and
really,
my nephew's like, oh.
Motion or elevation?
Motion. She got
elevation.
Altitude.
Elevation.
That's my issue.
Did I say motion?
Yeah.
Elevation.
Should I go to Flagstaff? And I'm like, like, short of breath.
You better.
That's my biggest worry. Is
What bikes are you doing it on? Do you know?
he provides them.
Triumphs.
They're not
No,
Triumphs.
the
They're what's
Royal
the,
Enfields.
Royal Enfields. That's it. Yeah. Do you guys know that guy, Bare Knuckle?
No.
Bear?
We don't
So,
know him, but know
yeah.
of him.
Yeah, he does some beautiful knives, and he does these trips. Sherpa, he calls himself the motorcycle Sherpa.
Yeah.
We've heard.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it next year, Lionel and I. I'm sure there's open if anyone wants to, guys included, want to go. I'm trying to think of the website. You could probably look. I don't know if you have
Yeah, I mean,
access to
I'm
it.
free that day.
Yeah.
You're going to Iceland. You can't go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do that. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that. It'll give me. I probably need to get on my Can-Am and do a little more
You do.
off-road riding. I did it in Rocky Point. I was with Cruzy and Paul, and they're like, "Hey, let's go have lunch on the estuary." And I'm like, "All right, sounds fun." I'm like, "Is it dirt? It's dirt, but it's easy. It's light dirt, no problem." So I'm like, "Fuck it." So I get my Pan Am. Paul's on a borrowed bagger. It wasn't even his bagger because his took a shit before he left.
Borrowed bagger in the dirt.
Yeah. So we're following Cruzy, and all of a sudden, the road gets like real sandy and deep, and I'm like this, and then they slow down. They're filming me because I'm sure they want to see me crash. So I get off to the side in deeper sand and lay it down at like 3 miles an hour. Paul's ahead of me with his feet down. He lays it down, and I'm like, shit. Remind me never to lend you a motorcycle when you go to Mexico.
Right.
And then Justin crashed his later on also. Yeah,
Sand is not fun.
sand is not your friend, especially without knobbies. And if you go too slow, I learned that it gets you.
How old is Paul Yaffe? Because I've heard
60.
his name, so he's 60.
60, yeah.
You know the Paul Yaffe builds.
I know the builds, and I've heard
You've
Mook
seen-
always
you've
say his
seen,
name.
Yeah, but you've also seen Scott Jacobs has one in his showroom.
Okay. Oh yeah. But it's like I'm always okay. I've never seen the guy.
Yeah, he's a redhead, most affable, fun-loving guy you'll ever meet. I was with him for dinner last night. In fact, great guy. Yeah, but very talented. My favorite builder by far. But we're also good friends, and he lives like a mile down the street from me. So,
Right. I mean, Josh is my favorite editor. And
well, there you go.
yeah.
I mean,
Thank you, sir.
we did the Pan Americas 2 years ago,
Yeah.
year
You
and a
like
half
them?
ago. Yeah,
Great
them.
bike.
loved them, and being on a dirt bike that's a little more nimble, I was really impressed for that heavy of a bike
It is heavy.
to be able to handle the stuff that it was handling. And then we all went down, and it was a trip of downs. Like we were heading into a cabin out in
It's
Barstow,
like Ridgecrest-ish.
Ridgecrest,
Dove Spring. I forget exactly.
and it was
where.
getting dark.
Yeah.
And
Thick sand.
We're on
Ooh.
80/20s.
so
You can't see either.
street tires, essentially.
Yeah, I'm on,
we're up
yeah.
ahead of Lance, and we hear, "Oh shit!" Boom. He goes, "I'm good. I'm good." It was just like kind of laid into
That's
a
what I
berm.
did.
I laid
Same
into a
thing.
berm,
I did
like,
the same
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So we start laughing at him,
Yeah.
and
And then you go down.
Yeah.
it's dark, and you can't pick a line really well. And in sand, you're supposed to be going a little faster,
Right.
and then on the back wheel,
Right.
keep the front just.
Right.
So we made fun of him. Next thing I
I,
know, within two minutes,
I torpedoed into a sand pile.
he
and
goes
Galen-
down. I
Yep.
I'm hitting the brake, and I'm going to run over the top of Josh right now.
Shit, man.
So I just dump it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the next day, we got him comfortable because we had to get out of the sand.
Right.
He was finally back into kind of the groove of the riding.
Sure.
And next thing you know, we come around a corner up by Kern. It's a dirt
Up in the
road.
mountains in the
Yeah.
Sierra.
And it was one of those corners that is in the shade all day, and it had
shit.
sheets
Thick,
of ice.
thick ice.
Ice.
It was like
Ooh.
100 yards of 5
Oh
to
my
8 inch
God.
thick,
Did
like
you
an
all
ice
go
skating
down?
rink.
The guy in front of me who was leading us, he kind of meanders down.
He's a
I'm
pro.
following him.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucked up. So I start hitting the brakes,
Which is
and I just took it into the side of and all of a sudden I hear behind, oh shit! Oh, I went down, broke my leg.
Oh,
It was a very
shit.
calm-
So no brakes, no nothing. I just like got up on the ice and went. In my mind, I'm like, oh shit, this is ice, and I'm like, no braking, I'm just gonna float, and it just front wheel just went whoop.
Yeah,
So I put my foot down like this. Bike kept going, everything kept going, and my foot went back, and the metal saddlebag just.
We had the cans on
Crunch.
instead of soft bags.
And I heard
Oh,
it crack, and I just go,
shit.
"Hey guys, just broke my leg."
Oh my god.
Fib and tib.
Just like that,
Oh.
too. Very, I scurried off
I
into
don't
like a
remember
little
that.
ditch.
I remember a
Really?
little higher pitch tone.
I was
How'd
laughing.
how'd you get out of there? Like
Ambulance.
Finally,
Oh my
and we had
God.
no service.
Jesus.
And the guide that we were with he can press a button.
Oh,
Well, he still had to go. He had to go
But-
down
but
the
he
road.
didn't. Yeah, he didn't do it. So he rode down.
Yeah.
He
So
rode
they
down,
me
came
in an
back.
ambulance.
When the
Oh,
ambulance finally
shit.
came, like probably 45 minutes later, they had to two up on a Pan Am to the fire, or they took 2 bikes to the fire station, 2 ups on the way back, so he could get his bike to the fire station.
Jeez.
And up at that point, it was a fire road, but before that, there's sand, there's some single track. So
Right.
I pushed myself up the hill and laid there. Then I passed out. Then I woke up and I'm kind of laughing, just like feeling euphoric. Just
Right.
Thought he was dead.
And then
Is
the
this heaven?
ambulance parks over there, and I'm watching the paramedics coming there, and they can't walk.
They're
They're slipping
sliding.
and sliding.
Oh,
and being-
Sure.
yeah. Get
Then
some
the
good
next,
drugs at least. Some good
I-
morphine or
Once I got in the van, they
they
gave
give
me
you some good
ketamine.
stuff. All right.
the
We
next
got-
day, we decided to take another route, and sure as shit, here comes a big side by side, like
Ripping.
4-seater,
Oh,
ripping
darn
hairpin,
everything. Oh, fuck.
hairpin corner, takes out our lead guy.
Oh my God.
blows his radiator, throws him over the bars, and we hear in the helmet, "Oh, fuck, broke my collarbone again." Sounded like Bobby Kennedy.
Oh my
And
God.
he gets I mean, if he was a foot farther forward, he would have lost his leg.
Yeah, I would have lost.
Sounds like you
his leg.
guys shouldn't be on.
Every day we had
off-road
something going on.
But guess
you know?
what? That's not it.
Oh,
I
there's
won't tell the
more.
last part, but I rode that sucker down because the trailer only had enough room to keep 3 bikes.
And how many
I-
of them were shot?
There was 4, so
Okay.
I had to take the
Mine
last
was
one
clean.
down to the media center.
Thanks for sharing.
I took
The media
I took
center,
the
'cause they're
bags
all Harley
off.
loaners.
Ah,
Took the bags off, rode that thing down there like an R1,
yeah.
and it was a prototype. It was a pre-production bike for media
Okay.
use only. So I get down there, I make it into the property, and I pull up to a spot. I go to back up, radiator just starts pissing coolant and everything. And at the end, we're like, you know what? I think we're good.
But the testament to that bike is it took that side by side and ate it up, and it got hurt itself.
Yeah.
But we still had 6 miles of dirt to pavement,
Oh my God.
and we rode it all the way out to the pavement. The bike made it.
Really?
No coolant.
That's awesome that it made it that
It
far.
just
yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I've been off road. So when I was going to Sturgis with Justin, we were in Idaho, and we went into Sun Valley, and we took it. There's a dirt road. The road ends if you go past the hotel and stuff, and it becomes dirt. So we did it like 10 miles up the road. That's the first time I've been off road with the bike. So I was a little squirmy, but I just took it slow. He was ripping way past me. And then the second time off road was in the sand. But the bike doesn't get the best reviews for off-road riding. I've read about, they say the suspension's just it's okay, but I'm on the road 90% of the time anyway. So I'd rather have something that handles well on the road that I can take on the dirt a little bit. So I got knobby top. I got a whole nother set of like wheels and knobbies I can slide on. I got the hard bags. I even bought all the like my friends are making fun of me because I bought like all the camping shit. Like I got pots and pans. My buddy's like, "Are you cooking?" I'm like, "No, you're gonna be cooking." But so I got the little tent and all this shit. So I've never used it. My intentions are good. I'll probably use it one time and never use all the camping equipment again. But the idea seemed cool.
Well, Lance and his buddies they did the first photo shoots with those bikes when they were brand new, and they
Okay.
weren't even on production yet.
Wow.
And they were so gnarly in Caneville and jumping and doing stuff
Sure.
that Harley wouldn't even use the photos.
Because they're so beat up.
No, they're like,
Oh, they don't want people doing
we don't
that
want
stuff.
people jumping like these guys. We don't
Oh,
want.
yeah.
So they handled a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
a real like the guy with us, Randy, he's enduro guy. What he's at KTM's.
Sure.
And so he goes to New Zealand, all over the world, and those small bikes are what
Right.
he,
Those are more
But
adapted.
we all to the man said if we were to add another bike to the stable, it would be
That'd be it.
that, and we'd have 2 sets of tires and rims, and we'd do 50/50s and street and soft bags.
For
I
me,
have hard bags, but soft bags I could see coming.
Hard
out.
bags
I
break
would
your
get
legs.
the soft bags.
Yeah.
if I had soft bags, I wouldn't have broke my leg.
You know what also hard bags do? They take out other motorcycles that you get too close to. I was when I was heading to Rocky Point. It's the gas station at the border here. Of course, I make a turn and I hit the barricade, plastic barricade. Then I'm here and this line opens up, and of course I'm impatient. So there's a guy in front of me, and I cut left and I take out his brand new Harley rear light.
Oh,
Luckily, Justin owns a dealership, so he called it in. So I'm paying for that. Then I go home and I'm pulling into the garage and I get too close to the wall and I chop the wall. So those bags, they stick out so
Yeah.
fucking far.
We first
Then
were
we
riding
were
down the
leaving-
freeway.
Oh
We
my
started
God.
splitting lanes. We're like, whoa, watch
Yeah, you
out.
gotta
You're
be
like
careful.
in the calm. You're hitting cars.
Yeah,
I know.
we were leaving Carson. Galen was in front of me. We're under some bridge. And I'm like, dude, Galen, you were going to hit. Oh, I'm fine. Because, Harley's what, 34 inches? That's maybe 48.
Right. It's like
Like,
another
bro,
bike.
Not only are you not fine, you're going to hit it by a foot. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
if I had to have one of those bikes, for me, it'd be a great road tripping bike.
Yeah.
You're on the highway, you're riding, but if you want to go into a fire road or
It's
You have
very
the- yeah.
versatile. Yeah. And they're comfortable and they're not, I mean, you could literally get like, I was talking to Nick Trask. He bought 2 new ones for like 30 grand each. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I go, you can buy them at the auction for like 10 grand and then add 5 grand worth of bags and accessories, 16 grand. That's what I'm into mine. Had 3,000 miles on it when he got it. And you can still buy it. I think Tony told me he got another one for like 6 or 7. They're just not high demand bikes.
But they had really good reviews the last
They're
couple
great.
of years.
They're great.
You
Like I
know?
said, I think comfort, power, usability. Again, I'm not an off-road guy, but the only knock I've heard is that the suspension is not, but it's a heavy bike. So I mean, of course, it's not going to be like a lighter
Right.
type of enduro bike. But yeah, I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. It's lower, seat lowers an inch or so when you're at a light.
Have you
So,
seen the FXR division build where they put that kind of lowrider ST style fairing, single head, utilizing the stock single headlight, whole new subframe? It's like a club style road glide looking Pan Am.
No, I haven't seen that. I'll check
Raddest,
it out.
I'll see if I can pull up a picture.
I'm putting on some engine guards. The newer engine guards Harley makes now have tabs for lights. So Tony has the engine guards. He's going to put on Baja Design lights for me, so I'll have a little more lighting because the stock light sucks. And I may change out the main headlight as well, but that's really it. Everything else is spot on. I love it.
there it is.
Let's see. Oh, that's pretty sick. I've never seen that.
Yeah, they put the hard bags and
So that's a Pan Am.
that's a Pan
Yeah.
America.
Wow.
Pan America.
And they, did the, I don't know if it's Bulldog Performance. I forget who does it for the Pan Ams, but yep.
Pretty crazy
that's
build.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm probably good for a bike build for another couple of years. I love custom bikes, but as you guys well know, they get expensive. So so maybe in 2 or 3 years, I'd like to get a Harley with a bigger motor, and I told Nick I'd like to put a turbo on whatever I get next. So next bike will be something. The other one, I like Paul's got a Diablo, and I like the
Color this paint scheme.
yeah, it's beautiful. But
Did you see Lance's ST that he built?
Lance?
Thrashing?
I don't think so.
Is there a way you can pull a picture
Paul
of that
built one for a friend of ours in California. That's amazing. But
It's got a 131 in it.
Does it?
It's
And turbo or
he took off
No.
150, 200 pounds off the bike.
okay?
It's got this exoskeleton.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I love those STs.
So look at-
that's
see the-
probably what I'll get next.
See the
Let's see it.
exoskeleton?
Let's see it. Oh,
Let's
that's
see if I
sick.
can find that.
Whose carbon is that? Is that Curtis's carbon?
I don't know who.
RST, BST?
Oh, BST?
BST,
The
something like
wheels, yeah.
BST
Yeah, the
wheels. Yeah, no,
wheels.
the carbon bags.
It's
Uh,
got a
Mountain
different
that. I think it's
subframe
a
on
local
it.
guy out
Is
here.
it?
But if I
that
want him to
is
see the
sick.
Exo skeleton.
exoskeleton.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Where is
See, I
that?
love that bike.
But it's like so fast.
You kind of see it there. So it's just a shell of
yeah.
a fairing,
And he's got a smaller
There it
gas
is.
tank.
Nice.
I'll share that link with the
Are
viewers.
those aftermarket tanks?
No, he took a street bob tank.
How about the bags?
The
Are those-
bags.
They
Yeah,
cut him in
they
half.
made the bags.
Ah, it says thrashing on them. Yeah.
Yeah, he had them all painted, and everything's built on that bike.
They guys do. Now I know they have exhausts. They have a whole line of parts. Thrashing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys are dealers for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything: handlebars, risers, floorboards, adjustable brake arm,
They got everything. huh?
everything.
This was a bike build for last year. Born Free, Harley-Davidson,
Oh, right.
Homecoming. Yeah.
Oh, so they built it.
Sturgis,
Yeah. So they still own the bike. Is it one of
Yeah.
the guys' bikes? Yeah. So where are they based? Those guys.
More park
Far
about
from here?
30
Oh, are they?
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to connect with those guys. I was watching some of their videos a couple months ago, and I said to my team, these guys really have it dialed in on their videos, their lifestyle stuff. I go, we should see about doing. I know you guys do stuff with them, but
It's,
we should
well,
all-
That's his
I'd love
son.
it's my son.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the connection.
Yeah.
All right.
People
Duh.
think we're
All
kind of
right.
thrashing, and then they think when we go on trips, they always ask us, "Where's the thrashing guys?" And when they go on trips, "Where's the 2 lane guys?"
That's
Because they like to
funny.
see us together, and
Right.
we have some great road trips together.
I saw the video you guys talking about how you have to kind of like be the babysitters or like the responsible guys. Yeah. How old are those guys? Like in their 20s?
30s.
Oh, okay, so they're not.
Lance is
super-
34.
So is he one of the owners?
He's the only owner.
So he owns. So your son is thrashing.
Yes.
Where do you go with that name? I know I've heard the name.
Him and his buddies were,
Yeah.
hey, let's just, his father-in-law had a machine shop.
Yeah.
Let's just make some pegs for us, and they were all like bike riders and skaters. And they're like, let's just call ourselves thrashing.
Really.
So
I
it
love
came
the
from
name.
there.
I love the name.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So if you
that's
want
your
to
son.
connect with him, we'll help you out.
Yeah.
We know the guys.
So you can give me maybe a little bit of an industry discount, just a little break on the stuff.
Of course.
Of course
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah, I like the pipe. I love that pipe on the FXR. It's cool.
I mean,
Well,
if you look
that's-
on our bikes, you'll see we have all his components on it,
Nice.
and everything's designed. We've tested a lot of the stuff for baggers. I mean,
Yeah.
it's designed, put on bikes, tried it, changed, yes, and
Yeah.
and revamped and made it until it's,
Yeah,
they
it's
stand
nice
by
that-
their product.
He's a dirt bike guy. So when you think about
Right.
the setup, and you'll see it out here on the bikes.
Yep. Yeah.
It's that kind of, like, we don't have a brake arm that's up here.
Right.
We're down at the board,
That makes sense. Yeah.
right?
That's awesome.
The T bars they're narrower than and the bars this year on the baggers are way better than they've been in the past, but on the stock, but
Oh,
you get ours on and it's still, and you,
Yeah.
for some reason, he has hit on in a performance. I call it performance because the way the bike handles with these bars,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's hit it right spot
Got dialed
down the
in,
middle.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just because
That's
you can
super
go.
important. The bars
Yeah.
to me, like, I like your son's stuff. I like Yaffe stuff. I like Trask stuff. I like Krause's stuff as well. I mean, there's so many
Mhm.
that are
There's some
yeah,
good
good stuff.
good stuff out
good
there.
quality, American made. Well designed. That's what's great, I think, about this industry. Just like motorcycles. I mean, everyone's like, "What do you recommend?" I'm like, Honda makes great stuff. Yamaha, Suzuki, BMW, Harley. I mean, there's so much good product and so many good bikes out there. You just got to figure
what's right for you.
What's right for you,
Yeah.
or hopefully, you can try some different stuff and, figure it out. And if it's not, then my brother-in-law's got a bike. My nephew's got bikes. I mean,
Do they have insurance?
They do. Yeah. I won't let them get on the bike without it. Yeah. But yeah, it's great. All the aftermarket stuff that's out there. Yeah,
Well, like
it's
we
cool.
we say we don't care what you ride. We said this earlier, but we just are partial to Harley. Has been our
And I am too.
go-to,
Yeah, yeah.
and we see people on Route 66 and iconic places, and it's like I'm going to be there on a Harley. He says it all the time, or a muscle car.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
yeah.
I'm doing.
Two go to hand in
Yeah,
hand.
like-
Yeah. Wait, you a muscle car guy?
No, I like the older cars.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I like what Adam's driving right now.
The Trans Am.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was supposed to meet me for dinner a couple weeks ago. He's like, my car broke down. I'm not gonna make it. I'm like, but yeah, that's a badass car. He gets
I like
more-
the 70s.
70s era. Yeah. My dream car would be a Shelby Mustang.
That'd be cool.
A 60s.
I'm a 68 Camaro SS.
Those are
57
badass.
Chevys.
Badass.
yeah.
Oh,
But if
yeah,
you give me,
59 Apache.
I'd go for an old truck.
Ooh,
Those
yeah.
talking about old trucks. I was at Bear Jackson. Holy shit! Like some of those. I think
Yeah.
they're the S. What do they call those? the Chevy.
SNS? Or
No,
no,
the 70s era Chevys.
Oh, square
200
bodies or
Yeah,
depending.
200,000 bucks.
200,
Yeah.
200 to 400.
Yeah, for a fucking pickup
C10.
truck. It's
Yep.
crazy. Yeah.
I mean, we had rest in peace, Joe Stuper. We had a fan for a long time that would come in here. He was into like Brook wagons or something, and he was selling cars at
You mean
auction
like
for,
panel wagons?
Yeah, like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000.
Who pays that?
People
Some
with money?
you know.
Yeah, but then you look what happened with the Ford Broncos, like during the recession.
Yep.
I mean, the pandemic. I was right after I was at Barrett Jackson. They were selling not Ford replica Broncos, licensed by Ford, $400,000 for basically a Bronco that's made authorized by Ford by a third party, and it's like I mean, even like the some of the Shelbys and the we're going for huge
crazy.
money.
I mean,
and,
I'd love
yeah.
a 72 Chevy.
Yeah.
What about a
truck.
208 horsepower, 205 horsepower, 208 horsepower ST?
That would be gnarly.
That would
More
be
horsepower than our first
Jeez
car.
Louise.
Who's got that?
I guess Trask just built one for Jesse James.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that. I heard he
Mhm.
may be getting a gun. Someone mentioned maybe I don't know if he's going to get a gun from Jesse or something. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Nick has by far like the best turbo. I mean, the power on those bikes are on his bikes are unreal. He just actually moved into a bigger
Yeah, we saw that.
space. Did you
Yep.
see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's massive. And you got to give the guy credit. He started with nothing, came from New Zealand, and now he's got a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
And you know, he's the real deal. He's a gun guy too. So he and I went to the gun club, and he ended up buying a Uzi when we were together. That's him and a driver shooting an Uzi. I don't know. That's stay back.
Well, we did a thing in Page, Arizona. We were there for a week interviewing half the town and doing all kinds of cool stuff. And we got in ATVs or UTVs, the guy that had a travel thing, and he showed us all this stuff. And then he's like, my friends own the Canyon
Gunfighter Canyon.
Canyon.
Okay.
And they haven't been Williams and different places, but we're all in there shooting machine guns. And, you know,
I have a few machine guns. I love machine guns.
We don't have full auto here legally. You know,
Arizona is the Wild West.
Yeah.
Like you got obviously legally you got to have the tax stamp, but I have an MP5, which an M16. I just got an Uzi. They're really for me investments. I mean, they go up in value 8-10% a year. They're expensive, but it's just another way to kind of diversify my retirement investment portfolio, and it's an excuse to buy and shoot cool shit. You know.
Yeah, let's be real.
Yeah, that's the real reason. That's what I tell my wife at least. You know,
honey, we're late on rent. I'm
she's not
cashing out the
listening.
MP5.
That's right.
Don't worry.
That's right. Those things have gone through the roof. All machine guns, especially the MP5s.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and you're really paying for this little sear, you know, this little thing
little
that
serialized.
Yeah, but it's funny, guys. It's that's the other thing that's cool is like most of my friends are into bikes. They're into either cars or guns. It's just I think it's just the culture and the people that are attracted to bikes tend to be a little more, I think, open to adventure and risk and just tearing
Living
shit
life.
up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like to explore. We've got reservations in just a little bit, but the hamsters have foundations and things that they support.
Yep.
Is there something that Law Tiger is passionate about as well that people could go in and support if our followers tend to make contributions?
wonderful, yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything.
There's a few actually. I'll get on my soapbox now because I think it's important. I just talked to Kurt Hardtail. He's the president of the MRF, Motorcycle Riders Foundation. I would, if you have any, extra money laying around, I would donate to them. MRF.org. They lobby on behalf of motorcyclists for keeping combustion engines, which are trying to ban.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
We've talked to them.
Yeah, so he's a great guy. You should.
We
have
need
him
to get
on.
him on the
You
live.
should. Yeah, he's a super talented guy. He's on the board, the Sturgis board with me. MRF. They also try to protect other motorcyclists' rights. Secondly, Sturgis Motorcycle Museum and Hall of Fame. They were looking for more support to help improve the museum, continue the legacy of motorcycle industry. So we just did a big fundraiser yesterday at the museum. So that's always a great cause. And then this one's more Arizona focused. So I don't know if you have, but the Arizona Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Foundation, AMSAF, we provide, I'm on that board. We provide scholarships for helmets, rider training, and excellency management. But nationally speaking, I would say, the MRF and the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum, those are two very worthy organizations that could definitely use the support of riders and non-riders alike.
Because
Absolutely.
we believe in giving back as well.
100%.
And part of we're doing an open house on Saturday, so hopefully some of you will be there. But Medicine Wheel Ride.
Medicine Wheel Ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indigenous group that is raising money to help awareness, support legal issues with trafficking of females,
Oh wow. Okay.
domestic abuse on the reservations.
Yep.
Many different areas that they support and help. And so that's
the cause.
the net proceeds of this weekend will
Yes.
be donated to them.
And this is something you guys are doing?
And we'll choose a charity every year.
Well, I'd like to make a $500 donation
Wow.
to that.
Thank you,
for
sir.
Save Wild Tigers. So
Thank
just let
you.
me know what I need to do to do that. And it's my pleasure. One other thing, actually, it's relevant and timely is that, Crystal Hess, Motorcycle Missions. She does bike builds for veterans with PTSD.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
she's a Austin-based charity. We've done some bike builds to support her. There was an article I just read where she was scammed out of $95,000,
Yeah.
where they basically anonymously offered 95, wrote her a check. She deposited it in the account, and then they called and said, "Oh, there was an error. We accidentally sent you too much. We need 45 or 50,000 back." She sent it back to them. Then, of course, the check bounced, and she's out like 45, 50,000. And so that's Motorcycle Missions. So I know she would. I just sent her a text saying, "I'm so sorry for what happened." So I know she would love some support as well. I think it's motorcyclemissions.org. Crystal
We need
Hess.
to get her on the show.
Yeah, and it's great. You have all these veterans building bikes. Paul did a bike build. Buddy Stubbs, we did one with Buddy Stubbs.
Maybe you
Harley-Davidson.
can connect us.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. That's
Okay.
what I love about the community
Yeah.
is everybody kind of helps everyone else out, and it's like one degree of separation. I know a guy that knows a guy, but yeah, I would be happy to connect
Well,
you guys.
you're also becoming the primary sponsor at Josie's Hideout.
yes.
And if you haven't been there, you got to get there at some point.
I
But
will.
it's and we've ridden by it 150 times,
Have you?
literally.
It's a cool place.
It's a
really cool
really
cabins. to
cool-
I haven't
stay
been
at.
over there yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Amber and the team and everything that
Meadows,
they do there is
mountains.
just fantastic.
Where's that located?
It's in the kind of just off
Santa
the Palomar
Isabel?
Mountains, just
Okay.
in San Diego, above Julian, maybe 10 miles.
Santa
Nice.
Isabel.
Santa Isabel.
Isabel.
Did you guys get to all the other like Neptune's Net and Rockstore and
That used to be our kind
All that
of
stuff,
when
yeah.
we first started riding together. That
Yeah.
was like, okay, let's go spend Saturday and go down there. And
Yeah.
then we became like, we're not doing that anymore. Like, let's go to New Mexico. Let's go to
that's quite
Like,
the change.
let's-
Yeah,
miles.
Going
Like,
from
let's
going from the bar to another state. I
yeah.
love
Let's
that.
get the hell out of here.
Where are you guys going next year? What's like the big ride you're doing for next year?
Oh, we're working on stuff now. Our first ride is we're going to do we were in a gas station
Okay.
outside of Monument Valley.
Okay.
We're on the phone. We stop. We're getting gas. Our wives are talking to two people from New York that know us. We're on the phone. This guy walks up to us and he's wearing an LA Dodger hat. And he's like, "Can I get a picture with you guys? I watch your videos. 1 second. We'll be right with you." We go over there. He's like, "Hey, I forget it. His name. Anyway, I have his name. I just didn't. Don
Mose.
Mose."
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm Navajo and I live in Monument Valley. And I
Okay.
love your channel. I want to ride with you." So we said, "Hey, we'd love to really get in depth. We blow by it every year."
Right.
So now we're going to meet his father, grandfather. We're going to maybe get blessed to go on sacred land. I may be speaking out of,
You're gonna do a sweat lodge and stuff.
I don't know. if
Smoke
we'll
some
do that.
peyote.
Hell yeah.
but we're going to get the
Maybe.
history, the in-depth history of Monument Valley.
That's
We're going to
cool.
stay in the hotel, which his wife works at, and have the view.
Good for you.
So
How many
We'll do
miles?
that loop, and then we'll come out into Utah and then back down.
How many miles do you think you guys will do next year? How many miles did you guys do this year?
I don't know, but probably
40, maybe.
1,000?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
probably 40.
I mean, we
on
got our
bikes.
We got our 2024s 8 or 9 months ago, and mine has like 21,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So,
we
we've
all
done a lot of
ride
media
every day.
stuff like on other bikes, you know.
Right. Right.
We don't have cars.
But we
Really?
did. We did
Our
like
wives have cars. We don't.
That's pretty. Don't tell my wife that. I still
Right.
like my cars. I like them both.
But we did. He just said. So EagleRider's a sponsor.
Okay.
So when we do like a Philadelphia trip, We flew into New Jersey,
Okay.
picked up bikes there,
Yeah.
did the whole loop that we did, then turned them back in,
That's
flew
great.
home.
I gotta get them as a sponsor.
Yeah. And then we do media bike rides. So
That's
like our
okay.
first ride of the year last year was on all the new
CVO.
baggers and for Harley.
For
And so
Harley.
we rode out from Vegas went up into Death Valley and Badwater Basin, and we had a whole loop of it. So it,
Nice.
So some of our miles are not on.
Right, not on your
yeah,
bikes.
not on our
Are you
bike.
guys sponsored by Harley or officially, or just kind of have a
Project base.
project base? Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I know Adam just did his convoy deal with them.
Right.
But,
Yeah. We work with them.
yeah,
You know, we're a cell phone away, email
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they seem to be more receptive now, from what Adam told me, to like social media and brand ambassadors and stuff like that.
Well, people that ride,
that ride,
that people can relate to,
right,
and go,
right,
that's not an actor.
right.
That's hey, we see those guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you referring to a particular famous actor that's Harley sponsors? Or
No, I know over the years they use models.
or they use they used to do these young folks that didn't deliver on, their
100%,
promise.
yeah.
So I know that
I mean, we've been blessed to work with them for 4 years.
that's
And-
great.
And so the last 4 years we had been on all their bike launches.
Yeah.
We're not on this year's, but I mean, it's been that kind of relationship where, and then you walk into a dealer, you get collateral from them.
Yeah.
And see our faces, and then our viewers see it and they're like, I'm so glad, real people are being shown.
Yeah, that's
You know.
important. Yeah. Our dealer network to me is like the most valuable partnership we have. When I say that's not just Harley, that's dealers in general.
Right.
It's kind of tricky because we're a legal brand, right? And there tends to be some caution from manufacturers when lawyers are involved. That's why we don't sue dealers, we don't sue manufacturers, and that's where it comes from primarily. They don't want somebody like, suing them because for product issues or for whatever. So we have a policy where we will not go after a dealer or manufacturer. I have a letter signed by me saying if we get a call from someone saying that they have an issue with faulty workmanship on the bike or a product, product liability issue, meaning a part or it's faulty, whatever, we don't take those cases. In return, 99% of the dealers welcome us with open arms, let us work with them, sponsor them, support them. And that's much of our success is attributed to that dealer support.
Mm-hmm.
And not just big dealers. I'm talking mom and pa's, big, small, guys like you, everybody. But you can't bite the hand that feeds you, right? So I'm not going to go after a dealer or a manufacturer. But generally, that's where we feel like we've had the most success is getting to know the owners, the GMs, the staff, all the way down to the receptionist, and and supporting them and helping them drive business or meet their needs, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, we've broke bread with corporate. We've some of our guys that we deal with daily, we've ridden with them.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we know who they are. They know
Yeah.
who we are.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. You guys ever think you'd be doing this
No.
10, 20 years ago?
No.
It's crazy
Nope.
how life,
Yeah.
life can
Not at all.
take you one way or another,
But-
And we're still immature.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 4.5
You mean
years
like
old.
for people or as like a business?
that
Oh.
too.
As people, yeah.
But
Gratiot did a ride from the community center in Sturgis
Okay.
for Harley, and we were on it with them. And they were blown away because we filled up the place, and it was 241 riders. We rode from there to Deadwood, filled up Outlaw Square. So we'll be doing that again.
Well, I'm gonna go on that ride. What day? What day? What's that?
Whatever time
Whatever
in
day.
Sturgis.
Yeah, I'll have to
We'll
go
let you
on
know.
that. Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be fun. Yeah, we'll share that with our audience as well. That'd be fun
Crazy.
to do that.
There was a dude
Yeah.
that pulled off in front of the crowd, kind of a sketchy move to make it happen, but he pulled off and took a video, and it was like 3 minutes and 40 something seconds long.
one after the
of
other.
just
Yeah,
2x2x2x2 hundreds, and
that's
wild.
awesome.
I
You
mean,
guys, go
It
ahead.
was good. Harley was very impressed. They were like, "Wow, this is the most
Yeah.
riders he's ever
Well,
had on."
It's hard to get people together on those
240
rides.
riders was kind of the count,
Right.
but then at the square, it
Yeah,
was
more.
there's probably 3,000 people there.
Jason's going to be doing something with Paul, I believe, next door to the square. They're going to do their own little vending area, and that might be something worth
Sweet.
checking out. But You guys have to come to Rocky Point next year. I'm inviting you. Adam led a ride from Buddy Stubbs. About 100 of us went, and you will not regret going to Rocky Point, Mexico. It was in November. It was the weekend of right before Veterans Day. It is so much fun. I've been to a million rides and a million rallies. You get the water, the food, the parties. I'm telling you, if you have time, it's not that far either.
Where the heck do you stay?
I got access to condos on the water, on the beach. Yeah,
Because that's what we need.
I will. If you guys come, I will get
These
you
guys.
accommodations.
This one's a little sketched on it.
There's nothing.
I'm trying to get them down to San Felipe.
There's nothing. So let me, because this is the biggest issue. I was talking to the mayor of the border town when I was going through there. Adam and I were. People think that they're going to get robbed, or the cops are going to pull them over and take their money. They are so cognizant of that they now, and it's probably people get the wrong impression. They now have police federales every 20, 30 miles on the way to Rocky Point, just there. The intent is to make you feel safe. Some people think it's maybe to intimidate, but it's there to make you feel safe. You don't get hassled at the border. You don't get shaken down. They rely on tourist dollars.
Yep.
And the promoter is the owner of Playa Bonita Hotel in Rocky Point. Nice guy, ever met. He's a Harley guy. He rides all over the world. 70 years old. The guy's a rock star, and it's a great event. I mean, Paul came, Adam was there, like I said, and we all had a blast. Great food, fun, drinks.
It's November.
It's November. It's the weekend right before. So it's around the same time as Veterans Day. So Veterans Day was on a Monday, right? So it was that weekend right before Veterans Day. It's Thursday. We go down Thursday. We stay till Sunday.
You go through Arizona, right?
You can go through San Diego or Arizona. There's a San Diego entrance or Arizona. We go through
Mexicali,
Lukeville, and then it's Lukeville, and then not Lukeville. Yeah, it's Lukeville. Is it Lukeville? Yeah, we go from Phoenix, and then not Blythe. What is it called? Anyway, it's only 3.5 hours from Phoenix to or 4 hours. It's not Blythe.
Douglas?
Not Doug. Gila Bend. So you go Gila Bend, and then you go. Then you end up, instead of going to San Diego, you kind of verge off there, and it's literally 2.5 hours to the border, maybe 3 at the most, and then an hour once you cross the border. And
isn't that? I think that's Mexicali.
It's not Mexicali.
No?
No, I would know that. No, maybe going through San
For us,
Diego.
it'd probably
you
be.
guys would probably think of Mexicali, because I know we've gone to a veterans parade in San Diego right after Rocky Point, and we took this one lane road. So maybe it's Mexicali for San Diego. I think it's Lukeville. Lukeville is for Arizona. Yeah. So anyway, I know I've been repeating myself on that, but that is you'll have a blast. Huh? I go every year.
I'm down for it.
Love it. I love
Sounds
it.
good to
Weather's
me.
great.
You busy that
Playa
day?
I'm
Mirador?
free that day, actually. I'm around.
Which one? I mean, the hotel or the?
No, the Rocky Point.
Rocky Point is Puerto Penasco. Puerto Penasco. I mean, people are going down the Malecon, beads thrown, people burning out. You've got half the people are Mexican nationals, the other half are Americans. You got
So it's on the other side of San Felipe.
yes, yeah. It's
Gotcha.
still Cerro Cortez.
Yeah.
But
the
the
top.
weather, but the weather was so good, and you're just sitting there having
All right, we
beers.
gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. You will not regret it.
Well, let's make that happen.
Yeah, you got an invite. You guys go. I will make sure to get another condo at Sonoran, the Sonoran Sky Resort, right on the water. They have great coffee and breakfast in the morning. I got all the hot spots. It's a must do on the bucket list. So.
Well, we've been going an hour and 30.
All right.
So that was good.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you again for
Thanks for
making the
having me.
trip. I mean, you
Appreciate
could
it.
have done it over, StreamYard, but it's so
I like being here.
much
Yeah.
better to have
Yeah.
you here in person.
I want to invite you guys personally to our podcast that hasn't been officially launched yet, Motorcycle Mavericks. So we will let you know when we'll work together to get
Yep.
you guys out there, have you at our place, serve you some drinks, hang out, similar type of deal. So it's my pleasure to be on here, and I'm looking forward to riding with you guys. I think one of the things we were talking about is riding with y'all, and I'd love to ride with your son and his team too.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do a ride next year and get a bunch of people to join us. It'd be fun.
Next year's coming fast.
Let's do it.
Well, and thank you, and thank Law Tigers
My
for
pleasure.
the support of 2 Lane Life. We can't do it without folks like you, and we appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Our pleasure.
And with that, don't forget to check out 2lanelife.com, all the tabs, not just EagleRider one. We just redid the entire website.
What did we
Hopefully
drop
easier.
yesterday?
What did we drop yesterday? New
You said
video, open
Davidson's.
destination open road with Bill and Karen Davidson sharing some history from the Davidsons themselves. And then next week, we will be dropping a video for the open house party, which is happening this weekend,
Yes.
Saturday, December 7th from 12 to 4 p.m. We got a beer garden. We got free chili. We got free tacos. There'll be a barbecue joint, mechanical bull. Law Tigers will be there. Mulholland Harley will be there. Fueling Parts will be there. The Thrash and Supply team, the boys will be there. We got a bunch of different bike groups coming. Anthony Auto Spa will be there washing bikes. Whole lot of shit.
Be
so
there.
with that, we'll see you down the road.
See you down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Down the road.
$10,000 plus in raffle giveaways as well. All right. See ya.
See you down the road.